Welcome back, Music Maniacs, to another episode of Gibbs Drops the Needle, your one-stop spot for all things music. It's New Music Friday, so let's get into the new releases that you should be checking out today. If you are a pop fan, Ariana Grande released a new album called Pedal. This is probably going to be an album that makes a big impact on the Billboard 200 and might have multiple tracks on the Billboard Hot 100 as well. We have Ellie Goulding releasing Four Seasons. As for pop singles, we have Aha by Cardi B, Rachel Chinariri with a new single called One Song Away from Crying. This is going to be from her upcoming album, I Think I Spoke Too Soon. And then Selena Gomez, Benny Blanco, and Becky G with Te Olvido Lala. Those are the pop singles. As for the ones to look out, as I said, Ariana Grande's album is projected to probably be on the Billboard 200. Multiple tracks off of that album are probably projected to be on the Hot 100, and Cardi B's single has strong streaming and radio potential as well. Moving on to the country albums released today, we had Shaboozey, The Outlaw, Cherie Lee, and Other Western Tales, and Tucker Wetmore with Sunburn Mixtape, an EP. Next album is Wyatt Flores, released Scared of Heights. And as for the singles, Dasha released Memo, with the Billboard Outlook for the country albums and singles expecting Shaboozey to be inside of the Billboard 200 Top 10, and Tucker Wetmore should perform well on any country albums chart. Hip-hop/rap albums and singles being released today. Starting with albums, Logic released Paradise Records, and singles, Heady One released the single Turned to a Target, with it being noted that Logic could end up in the top 20 on the Billboard 200. Next category is R&B/Afrobeats. Albums, Davido released Oreade, and Odile released For a Good Time. Moving on to rock/alternative releases. We start with Richard Ashcroft releasing Live Volume 1, Trash Can Sinatra's releasing Ever the Optimist, Shearwater releasing The New World, Collective Soul releasing Touch and Go, Lucy and the Best Boys releasing Picking Petals, and rock and alternative singles released by Greta Van Fleet, Saw You Stand is their new single out. Greta Van Fleet should receive significant rock radio support, and Richard Ashcroft's live album is expected to perform well among lifetime fans of his. Metal albums/hard rock albums. The release is Five Finger Death Punch and Legacy, and this is one that I would like to make a little comment on because I have expressed that I am more drawn into the rock and metal music. I like all kinds of music. I've talked about liking all kinds of music, but rock music is probably my go-to genre. And Five Finger Death Punch was someone that when I first discovered them, I really, really liked them. I liked the covers that they were putting out. At the time, they had a cover of Bad Company that was kind of their mainstream breakthrough moment there, and I liked a lot of their early on songs, but as time has passed, they've been a band that kind of wears on me to the point that local radio stations will play Five Finger Death Punch songs, and it makes me want to turn the radio sometimes just because they've gotten to a point where it's so repetitive what they are putting out that I just don't really care for it anymore. The reason I bring this up is because their new single from this album, Eye of the Storm, has been on our local rock station a bunch, and when they first brought it out and said, this is the new Five Finger Death Punch single, it initially started out and I thought it was a song that they had released a year or two ago as a single then. but this turned out to be a different song, but the melodies were so similar, and that's where I find my opinion of Five Finger Death Punch has changed, is that everything that they put out now just sounds like something they had already put out. And I honestly thought that they were going to be done as a band already, because I believe Ivan had came out and brought his kids out onto stage and made a whole deal about retiring basically and spending time with his kids. So I don't know, when he had initially said one more album and then I'm done, I don't know if this is the album and then they're going to be done, or whether that just got thrown out the window and they're still going to continue to make new music. I don't know, but just wanted to get my thought out there on Five Finger Death Punch, because this is something where I had heard at least the top single on this album, so I just kind of wanted to weigh in on that one a little bit there. Other rock and metal album releases for this week include Finster Forst, who came out with an album called Still. As for the outlook for those albums, despite my thought on Five Finger Death Punch, Legacy is expected to be one of the week's top-selling hard rock albums. Moving on to the category of jazz. Yes, we're going to cover all the genres of music that are releasing new music, because there might be some jazz fans out there. So, jazz albums releasing this week that are notable: Cindy Blackman Santana released Coherence, and Terry Lynn Carrington and Social Science released The Night Fantastic. Electronic and dance albums. The notable albums for this week were PNAU with Arcade and Rehab with Dream Inside a Dream. Experimental / art pop albums, you have Arca releasing XXXXX, expected to receive strong critical acclaim and alternative chart attention. Reggae is also releasing some new music this week, with Soja releasing Without Surrender. Those are all the notable albums and singles released for this week, the week of July 31st of 2026. There were no Christian / gospel albums that were mainstream enough to really be notable, so I'm not forgetting that category. There just wasn't much released in that genre that would be considered notable for this week, so I think I covered a lot of genres there, most of the genres I think, and those are the new releases that you can check out today. Another honorable mention that you could have been checking out for a week now, but it wasn't really a known release, it was more of a surprise release, so I do want to include it just because I did make a short TikTok video about my thoughts on it earlier this week, and that was Avenged Sevenfold releasing their EP Statica. And I had mentioned in my TikTok video, in case you didn't see it, I'll go ahead and say it here, that the single from this EP has literally been on most of my TikTok feed, Instagram reel feeds, whatever I'm on. It seems like, since I'm into music things that, especially the rock genre, this comes up a lot, this song, and I don't really like this song. I'll be honest, I agree with most people that are some way poking fun at it. I'm not going to poke fun at it. It's their artistic expression, but I don't care for it really. But I will say that it's been stuck in my head like crazy. I have seen so many videos poking fun and just asking what is going on with this song, that it has ingrained itself into my brain. And I find myself whistling the melody or humming the melody or just having the song stuck in my head, and I haven't really sat down and listened to the whole song, but the parts of it that I've heard I just haven't really cared for. And somehow it's still just stuck in my head, which left me thinking that maybe this is what they wanted, was just to put something out that they knew enough people would be posting about it and talking about it that they would get some attention from it. I don't know. Or maybe it's the artistic direction they're going in now. I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts about Avenged Sevenfold and their albums and which album was kind of their falling off album, or if they're all still good albums. I have a friend that is a big Avenged Sevenfold fan and was mainly a Rev fan, and he kind of thinks that they fell off after the Rev passed away, which a lot of people probably think that as well, but I found some songs that I have liked on albums that they've released since then. I've never been a huge fan, but I have liked their mainstream songs. This one's just not hitting the spot for me, though. So that's all I got for you on this New Music Friday. Let me know which albums or singles you're excited to listen to, or if you've already listened to them and they're good or not. Let me know your opinions in the comments. I really appreciate you tuning in. Please like, subscribe, do all the good things to help me out, because I really appreciate that as well. Next time I talk to you, it'll probably be to go over all of the charts for this week, so look for that coming out. Until next time, stay safe and be kind.